Hi, what's up? My name is Matej and you're watching the Surviving Art Show. And today I'd like to talk about something that really bothers me and I think is quite applicable to all of us artists starting out, and it's just a load of bullcrap. So stay tuned. Have you ever seen a video of some white fellow talking about the morning routines and what kind of things people do, rich people do, that divides them and makes them different from normal non-rich, so poor people like all of us, and how we should, well, acquire their skill sets and acquire their morning routines and their mindset to be successful. And the problem for me is that a lot of it is bullcrap. And somebody needs to talk about this because a lot of us artists are pretty much starting out poor. And if we listen to people talk about how rich people made it and how they think and try to pursue our goals with their mindset, we will fail, or we'll get the feeling that we're not good enough or that we're doing something wrong. And guess what? Yes, we are. We're doing something really badly, and that's listening to certain pieces of their advice. Now, don't mind me, I don't want to say everything people say on YouTube is wrong, everything that rich people say on YouTube is wrong, because obviously it's not. It's quite useful actually, but there's one thing that's stuck in my eye and I want to talk about it, and that's how people talk about the rich having a very long perspective of what they are going to do. Meaning they don't just think about what they're going to do tomorrow, but they think about things that are going to happen in 10 or 20 or maybe even 50 years. And that's great. But the problem is that their argument says rich people think ahead in a very long period of time, and such a thinking helps them achieve their goals, whereas poor people only think about their next meal. And that's fair, that's also perfectly true. But here's my problem. Poor people don't not think about their future because they don't care, but because it's actually irrelevant if they don't get that next meal that is more or less just cultivating all of their thoughts, and they're just focusing intently on that particular problem. So it is not something that you can just change. I mean, if I was living on the street with nothing to eat, I would not be building my business in 10 years. I would not be projecting what I think I should do that will lead me to a certain place in 10 years. Because obviously, I am not just going to be unable to think about that as just not a necessity. I might try to change my mindset, but if I change my mindset without actually having anything to eat or actually taking care of my bills that need to be paid in 1 week, I'm gonna have a really bad time. And all these YouTube videos, I feel, are saying that we should just change our perspectives and just change our outlook on life and just project into the fucking future. And that's great, but it doesn't work. And please consider all of these videos as some guiding stones, maybe as just some information that you can process yourself, and be critical about watching these videos, and mine, I guess. I mean, who knows if I'm right, but I have a feeling about this, so that's why I'm sharing it. Be mindful, because a lot of the information that they show might not really be correct or might not be functional as just from a biological or from a psychological perspective. The point is, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is there for a reason, and it is regarded as the bedrock of psychology for a reason as well, because it's true. And that means that if I have my basic needs met, yes, sure, I can project into the future and I can think about the future rather than focusing on now. But if I don't, I'm gonna have a bad time if I try to. So anybody of us, all of us that are trying to get it, trying to get somewhere in the arts or wherever you want to go, we should consider that we still need to really focus on the basic necessities of life and take good care of them before we try projecting or anything else we're doing with our minds and trying to build our future businesses, our future selves, our future relationships, and so on. They are the current things that need to be addressed and are really important to be addressed now. The only thing that really helps me, actually, that I think maybe could help all of you as well if you've watched such videos and are thinking about, okay, projecting my future self and, you know, The Secret and all that bullshit, maybe try looking at it from a different perspective. Maybe try looking at it from a perspective of gratification. I think this is the best example of how to try to build a future for yourself that will be much more pleasurable than, well, what you have now, is by delaying gratification rather than projecting your wants and your demands and your wishes into the future. You should focus on that with a delay of gratification in mind, because I think this mental tool is actually quite effective in preparing us to actually take care of our needs right now. That means taking care of the basic needs we have right now and then attacking the future. So think of delayed gratification, meaning I could have a burger now, but maybe I don't need to. I actually, if I don't have anything good to eat, I might not eat at all. And that is actually healthier for me than if I were to eat some crappy high carb or some meal. It doesn't matter. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just saying I feel better after not eating than after eating something full of carbs, for example. So this delay of gratification is something that is actually helping me because it is from a sound place. The decision was made from a sound place, whereas the decision to just start thinking 10, 20 or 30 years ahead might help, but it is a hard decision to actually biologically, psychologically get into your mind if you are struggling with basic necessities like not knowing where your rent will come from next month. And speaking from personal experiences, when I was in such a position, I just got steadily more and more depressed when I tried to force myself to think ahead. It has actually been a terrible experience for me trying to do what they say because it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel in line with what I was experiencing at that moment. So, for the love of God, I think we should all consider a more skeptical, and if you are, that's really great, but we all should be a lot more skeptic about such videos and such advice, because it might be well intended, I'm sure it is. The problem is, though, that sometimes such advice can really conflict with the basic operation of how we humans work and how our minds work, and as such can leave you in a worse off place rather than in a better place. So try to figure out your basic things now and take care of them so you know they're done. For example, you could have a great car, a new car. It could be cheap, but it could be a new car that you can rely upon. If it is something you can rely upon, surely you won't think about it. But if it's a bad, crappy car that you know will break down eventually, and has done so in the past several times, you are having to exert so much energy in thinking about that car, anticipating it'll break down, the tires will pop, the cooler will be crap, the alternator won't work anymore. A lot of things can happen. And in such a mindset, you can't physically expect from yourself to be thinking about the future of said car or even yourself or anything that is connected with that car, because that car is a liability and it is only a liability. So therefore, if we figure out the basic things in our lives and turn them from liabilities to managed chaos, which is kind of orderly, but you know, eventually you'll go bad. But for now, you have almost a certainty that everything is okay. If you get to that point with all your basic needs that you just really need, not things that you want, but things that you really need, then I think it is a wonderful place to start projecting your wishes into the future and yourself into the future and thinking about what you can do to really get to your goals, or even just start thinking about your goals. Because another point is, if your basic needs aren't met, you'll have a really crappy time figuring out what you want to do in life, because you won't have either the time or the inclination to do so at all. And just, it's a messy place to be. I've been there and I don't recommend anybody to be in such a place, but I know a lot of us are or will be again, or, you know, life happens. The point is, fix the basic necessities, really take care of them. Fix your loans, fix your home, fix your food, fix your water, anything you need, your transportation, if you really need your transportation to be there for you because you have a job that demands a car from you or something like that. After that, go wild, plan your future, but take care of what you have right now, because without it, without this bedrock, without this foundation to hold you up, you will find eventually you have nothing, and all of your dreams will just be glimpses of other people's ideas that got stuck in your mind and other people's ideologies that you started to believe because you need something to cling to, but it doesn't come from within yourself because it couldn't come from within yourself because you're just not in the right place for creating such a vision of yourself in the future. So I hope this video helps some of you. I don't know, I just watched the video and I just got pissed off when I saw the guy talk about this and not give any explanation. And I thought, Jesus, this could be problematic, because I know I've been there, I've forgotten all about it, but now that I've saw the video, I just got I got a flashback and I remembered, Jesus, that wasn't nice. It was all not nice for me. And I do hope this video helps you out. Cheers and thanks for watching.